I say it all the time that women will always reveal themselves even when they're lying. And I like to highlight articles that attempt to explain female behavior, especially if it's written by a woman. Because it's like, ooh, what are we going to ascertain from this? And if, it's not a blatant lie, let's just have a little fun and add our own spin to it. Add in some overlooked details. Welcome to Far From Eden. It is good to have you here. I am going to forget to tell you, or ask you, I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to forget to ask you to hit the like button. I get involved in what I'm talking about. Sometimes I almost forget to introduce the channel. I forget to say, please hit like and subscribe, because I just want to talk about what we're going to talk about. And I forget, this is a channel. We're trying to get out the word to other, more men. Literally a comment I got in the last few days was, thank you for telling me I'm not the only one. There are literally men out there that think they're the only ones that have suffered at the hand of a woman through divorce, family court, dating, being treated as, invisible, all of this. There are men out there that really think it's them. And it breaks my heart to think that they actually think it's them, because it's not them. There's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you guys. Now, are we perfect? Nobody's perfect, but that's the good stuff. The idiosyncrasies, the stuff that makes us weird, that's the good stuff, right? I mean, I'm of a certain age where testing starts to need to be done, colonoscopies and such. And you know what? It's not just, okay, this is going to sound like, why did she talk about that? Because marriage, love, is being there when somebody's going through their colonoscopy prep. And they drive you to your colonoscopy. They pick you. It's that. I think I've said this before. It's when you're stinky and grumpy and, messy and all of the things that are the worst parts about you. And the other person is like, you are still my favorite person. That is love. That's how God's love is. In John, I believe the first, John 1:1, I think, is God is love. And he is. And the way that he loves tells us what love is. Men love more that way, women do not. Love is unconditional. It means regardless of a person's behavior, this, that, or the other, you love them anyway. And oftentimes people say it's how you love your children. You know they're going to mess up. They're messing up. Does it change your love for them? No, it doesn't. Can it hurt you sometimes as a parent? Yeah. Do you love them less? No. That's love. It seems lost on women. Love is something you fall out of for women. Love is something that if you're in love, you're happy. I'm like, no, you're not always happy all the time. Love is being, it's the simple things. It's who you want to have slumber parties with for the rest of your life. And tell your secrets to. And trust. It's that person. And if you're going to spend a lifetime with them, you're going to hurt them and they're going to hurt you. Probably more than anyone else, because of course you're right there and you care about them the most. So of course. But you just go, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I've made my decision. I've made my decision. Love is a decision. So we're finishing an article. Oh, let me get the title over here. Having said that, we are reading an article from the BBC written by Katie Bishop, Why Women File for Divorce More Than Men. It's been terribly enlightening so far. Again, more sarcasm. Sorry, I know that is not a feminine characteristic. I probably should walk that back a little bit. It doesn't feel good to be like that. So that's me just correcting myself in real time. All right, we were just talking about how women, if they have a close friend, are 75% more likely to file for divorce. Talk about a herd creature. Good gracious. No wonder we're such suckers for propaganda, right? As to the fact that women get primary custody of children in the vast majority of divorce cases. So women may feel they have less to lose when filing for divorce compared to men. That's a problem. Do you know what I think? I think if you're a woman and you want to file for divorce, okay, leave. Leave the kids, leave the money, leave the house, leave the cars, bye. Go. I honestly think that's how it should be. If you want a divorce, leave. You're the one wanting to leave. Go. Get out. And in some ways, they are right. Evidence shows men's well-being tends to drop much more dramatically immediately following a divorce. Well, of course it does. After what she puts him through and having his children stolen, good Lord. We talked about psychopaths 2 days ago on Friday, and they talked about lack of empathy, lack of guilt. Katie Bishop, the author of this. Men's well-being tends to drop much more dramatically immediately following a divorce. Now let's see if she talks about that at all or gives a crap or anything. Women tend to be, I just scared Lola. Lola, I'm sorry. Oh, and that's a Lola alert. When I think of Lola, please hit like. Women tend to be more motivated than men to resolve their marital status. Resolve their marital status? That's nice word trickery. Says Katie Spooner, partner and head of family law at Winkworth Sherwood, London. She says, based on her client record, most men are happy to remain separated unless there is a new relationship or particular imperative to sort their finances. Yeah, they don't want to break it. They don't. Men don't break stuff. Men build stuff. I just thought of that. I like it. For women, however, the need for a divorce can be much more pressing. Good Lord. Quote, it remains a requirement for divorce to be filed in order to make a financial application, says Spooner, referring to the legally binding process of sorting finances out after a split. Well, now we know why the women don't want to be separated. They just want to be divorced because they want the money. Cash and prizes, as Better Bachelor says. Cash and prizes. Historically, making sure I'm on the right page. Historically, women have had a greater need to do this due to their weaker financial position or their role as primary caregiver. No, they haven't. They're fine. Men don't turn their wives out and leave them destitute. Men do not leave their children destitute. They don't. And the rare ones that do, honey, you picked them and you made babies with them. What'd you expect? Don't paint all men with that. Don't even think that that's all men, because it's not. It's not most men. In other words, married women tend to earn much less than their husbands and are significantly more likely to have given up work or reduced their hours to care for children, even if they were the higher earner to begin with. Well, somebody's got to care for them, and it makes sense that it be the one that is sort of physically taxed in carrying the baby and has the ability to feed it. But women want to say it's some kind of oppression. Here's a quote from that, she's the attorney. Women tend to be more motivated than men to resolve their marital status. Oh, they just pulled a quote. Yeah, thanks. I didn't need to hear it the first time. This means women who are separated from their husbands without a divorce agreement risk financial hardship because they may not have a legal right to marital assets or financial support until a formal divorce agreement is in place. Well, that's incentive, isn't it? And you know what, sweetie? Get a job. You're equal now. Go get a job. What's wrong with you? Financial hardship? What's wrong? You don't have as big of a house? Well, maybe you should get over yourself and stay married. Get over it. It's probably you that's the problem anyway. Filing for divorce might be their only choice to make secure assets, even if, here we go, she's the victim, even if they did not choose to end the relationship in the first place. Oh, now we've flipped it around. That's convenient. Spooner points out a big turning point for women initiating divorce in the UK was 1996, when being a homemaker was recognized as a contribution to the marriage, meaning women became entitled to a fairer share of assets. Before this, the less wealthy spouse, usually the woman, especially if she'd given up her career, was only given financial support for basic needs, rather than how their domestic labor had contributed to the marriage. So that means he's got to now support 2 houses and 2 everything because she decided to leave. This arrangement is now common in many other countries, meaning fewer women risk poverty post-divorce and are more motivated to push for a divorce over a separation to get their fair share of marital assets. Yeah, it's not their fair share. It's way more. There are men living in their vehicles because the women took their fair share. Probably because he didn't meet her emotional needs, as we covered in yesterday's video. It's just awful. That they get away with this is awful. As for the new UK law, Spooner says, there has been an early rush to file no-fault divorces, suggesting many people had been waiting for the law to change. Well, they aren't. Women are opportunists. It's there, they can get something out of it, they're going to do it. But you know what? They're going to die alone because it's not better and you're not still hot and nobody wants a single mom. Not for a relationship. And the men are too smart now. So these women who are doing this, it is not going to turn out good for them. However, it's too early to know exactly how patterns will shift until the law has been in place for a while. Oh, we know what women are going to do. Spooner herself believes there could be a slight drop in female-driven divorces, since it's the first time couples can issue joint applications. She's wrong. Whatever happens in the UK, ultimately divorces, like marriage, tend to be complex and nuanced. There's my favorite word. That just means a bunch of baloney and moral relativism. In some cases, filing for divorce is an agonizing decision based on years of unhappiness. Again, happiness has nothing to do with staying married, not staying married. Life is brutal. It's absolutely brutal. People get sick, people die, people get fired, no fault of their own. Pandemics happen that might be real and might not be real. Stuff happens in life. Life is brutal. We have to survive this life. And it's much better when you're clinging on to somebody. But they're not going to be perfect. And that's what women think they deserve. And that's what they expect. So of course, they're going to be like, he didn't make me happy. For others, filing is more of a practical move based on the need to reach a financial settlement. Oh, baloney. It's a divorce. It's awful. Stop making it seem like it's not a big deal. What's clear, however, is that certain factors, women's improved earning power, men and women's mismatched emotional needs, they're perfectly matched. They're perfectly matched. You don't want both people to with all the emotions. No, they're perfectly matched. They're different, and that's good because they're complementary. Mismatched emotional needs. Within marriage and ongoing inequalities in household labor, it's just women so mad that the man doesn't clean the house more. He's not suited for that. His mind doesn't work that way. And women lose their minds if his sock is on the floor somewhere. It's like somehow means he doesn't love her, assigning meaning to it. And he's like, I got a horrible meeting tomorrow. Yeah, you both might work, but guess what? It's his job. It's his job, usually. That's the one that keeps the roof over your head and the food in your belly and all the rest of it. Her job is like, she could do it, she could not do it. If she loses it, she got a different one. End of the day, it's on the guy. And even if it isn't, he lives as if it is, and she does not. And I know she does not, because she doesn't even realize that that's a thing. She doesn't even realize that that's the burden on him. I now can look back and see my father and the burden he had to sustain our lives as we knew it, and how close you can be to losing it. If one boss says no, if one, a natural disaster happens, an illness happens, like we're so teetering on the edge, we're so fragile in this life that you can't base it off of if things are going well. It's life. Generally, it's going to be harder than it is easy. And you can't judge your marriage based on that. Oh, what's their last thing they're going to say? Oh, division of household labor. Mean that divorce is likely to remain deeply gendered. Yes, it is likely to remain deeply gendered. That's a way for her to not say, yeah, women are going to be the ones who keep filing for divorce. Now, why wouldn't she just say that? Why would she say deeply gendered? Because they don't want to admit it. If you don't want to admit something, you know it's bad. Like I said, revealing who they are, they know it's bad. That's why they don't just say. Women will be, seeking better lives and independent. They're not saying that because you know what? I think deep down, two things. They either know it's not going to be better, but I think even more, they know it sounds bad to think that way. They know it sounds bad to say, I think the grass is greener. I think I deserve more. Women know that it sounds bad to say that. So that's why it's nuanced. Nuanced is code for, these are all the specific little excuses that I use to say what I'm doing isn't wrong, even though it clearly is. Divorce is wrong. Divorce is wrong. I don't know any other way to say it. It's wrong. And if you don't think it's wrong, then you don't believe in marriage. You can't have both. Marriage doesn't exist in a world where divorce does. Because marriage is forever, no matter what. And if there's like what if? Well, then no, it's not. Well, if he cheats, that's the one all the time. Well, if he cheats, you know what? Why is that the be-all, end-all of everything? I am not one of those people that says, oh, he should be able to cheat. He has options. I don't think that's what should happen. I think cheating is one of the mistakes that a person can make. And I think with most things in a marriage, it takes two to tango. So where is it broken that he felt like he wanted to do that? Am I saying, oh, it's her fault if he cheats? No, not exactly, but I'm saying she has agency in it. Because men don't want to do that. But it's really hard if they're being berated at home and emasculated at home constantly, and then someone's kind to them somewhere else. Someone smiles at them, is kind to them, listens to them. That's pretty difficult to turn down. I'm not saying I'm not saying that it's okay. It's not okay. It's understandable. And it shouldn't be like, well, if he does this, then I'm out. Or this is the deal breaker. There's no deal breakers, man. It's ride or die. Marriage is ride or die. Or it's nothing. And that's my 2 cents on it. But anyway, I know that for a lot of you guys, you've been through this. Or you never had it, and in that way you were kind of saved, but you're also sad because you wanted a family. And it's just not there to be had. There are no wives. So, on that uplifting note, I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, and I will be getting back in town at some point later today. I am taping this early so that I could make sure that I got a video out to you guys, and I plan to be in the comments while I am away at the horse show. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all your comments. Keep them coming. I still learn, and I think I'm better from all of them, really. And it certainly is motivating, because as I said to somebody yesterday, I think I said, I get stage fright before every video. Like, and people call me like a grifter or this or that. I'm like, no, this is sort of a reluctant, like, oh, darn, well, okay. If it's something you guys want to hear, and I'm going to keep doing it. That's why I do it. So, yeah, I want you guys to be well. Do something that fills your soul. And take care of yourselves. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.